When you hear the words Black Myth, something stirs inside you. Because this isn't just another franchise. This isn't just another RPG release. This is mythology reborn in the language of gaming. And if you were there for Black Myth Wukong, you remember what that moment felt like. You remember the first trailers, the breathtaking visuals, the way the Monkey King leapt from legend onto your screen and made you believe again, made you feel that gaming could still surprise you, could still make your jaw drop and your soul burn. And when that game launched in 2024, it was more than hype fulfilled. It was history being written. It was Chinese folklore kicking open the doors of a global stage where only Norse gods and Greek titans had ruled before. And it wasn't just about numbers, but the numbers were staggering. More than 25 million copies sold. And suddenly, everyone was talking about Wukong, about his staff, about that world dripping with mystery and danger. And that wasn't just a win for game science. It was a win for storytelling itself, because it showed that myth, no matter where it comes from, can cut across language and culture and still ignite hearts. But here's the thing, lightning like that isn't supposed to strike twice. Legends aren't supposed to get sequels. Myths are supposed to remain timeless and untouched. And yet, here we are in 2025 with the announcement of Black Myth Zhong Kui, and the internet has already started trembling, because this is no ordinary continuation. This is a bold shift, a terrifying gamble, because Zhong Kui is not the Monkey King. He's not playful, he's not mischievous, he's not a trickster god. Zhong Kui is the demon-queller, the ghost slayer, the nightmare of nightmares. The man whose face alone was said to drive demons screaming into the abyss. And if Wukong was the chaotic spark of fire, Zhong Kui is the cold steel of judgment. And the very moment that teaser trailer dropped at Gamescom, even without gameplay, even without context, you could feel the weight. You could feel the shadows it cast. You could feel the darker energy twisting around this announcement. And game science knows exactly what they are doing, because they told us directly, you won't be playing a monkey this time. And those words hit like a hammer, because that means everything changes. The combat, the mood, the morality, the way we experience myth itself, it all shifts. And suddenly, the community is split between excitement and unease. Some are hyped out of their minds, dreaming of a gothic, brutal action RPG dripping with ghosts and blood. Others are skeptical, nervous, wondering if game science can really pull off something this different. And that tension, that debate, that endless scroll of comments and arguments, that is the fuel that makes videos like this explode. Because we are not just watching a trailer, we are watching a studio play with destiny. We are watching them tempt fate by stepping into the shoes of a character who is both savior and monster. And that is dangerous storytelling, the kind that could burn bright or collapse in ashes. And yet, the mystery only deepens, because game science admitted the game is still in early development. So early that they don't even have the outline finalized. So early that everything we think we know could change tomorrow. And that's both terrifying and thrilling, because it means we are staring at a shadow, not a statue. We are staring at a story still being carved. And in that unfinished space, our imagination runs wild. We fill the gaps with our own fears and hopes. And that's why the teaser works, because it doesn't show too much. It leaves us dangling over the edge of anticipation. It whispers instead of screaming. And in silence lies the greatest power, because the less we know, the more we dream. And yet, while we dream, there's another shadow looming, one that no trailer can't erase. And that is the controversy surrounding game science itself, because you cannot talk about Black Myth without talking about the storm that followed the first game, the guidelines to content creators asking them to avoid feminist topics, the documented history of alleged misogynist remarks from the dev team, the IGN report that painted a darker picture behind the brilliance. And those wounds haven't healed. Those questions haven't disappeared. They linger like ghosts of their own, and they make Zhong Kui's arrival even more complicated, because how do you separate art from artist, myth from maker, story from scandal? That is the debate that now travels hand in hand with every Black Myth announcement. And some say you can't ignore it. Some say you shouldn't ignore it. Others say the work itself deserves to stand free. And this conflict mirrors the duality of Zhong Kui himself, because even in legend, he was both feared and revered, protector and punisher, a monster to monsters. And maybe that is why Game Science chose him. Maybe that is why they risked leaving behind the safe comfort of Wukong's chaos. Maybe they see their own reflection in Zhong Kui, trying to fight off the demons chasing them, while knowing that they themselves are not free of shadows. And so, we are here, balanced on a knife's edge, staring at a teaser that gives us almost nothing, and yet somehow gives us everything, because it gives us a promise that this is not just a sequel, but a transformation, a promise that Black Myth will not repeat itself, but will evolve. And evolution always comes with pain, with fear, with risk. And that's why you feel it, that restless ache in your chest, that spark of nostalgia colliding with the thrill of the unknown. Because part of you wants Wukong again, part of you wants that joy, that fire, that mischievous rebellion, but another part of you is curious, almost trembling, with the desire to step into Zhong Kui's world, to walk into a darker, heavier story, to feel the weight of judgment in your hands instead of the freedom of mischief, to see how Game Science will handle ghosts, demons, morality, fear, and whether they can craft another masterpiece, or if they will stumble into their own abyss. And right now, the beauty of this moment is that we don't know. We can't know. And the suspense itself is electric. It's viral. It's addictive. Because uncertainty fuels conversation. And conversation fuels reach. And reach fuels legend. And legends are what Black Myth is all about. So, when people ask why this matters, why the announcement of a single cinematic teaser can dominate the discourse, the answer is simple. Because we have seen what Game Science can do. We have seen the impossible become real. We have seen myth and game merge into something unforgettable. And when that happens once, you never forget it. It burns into your memory like a scar, and you want it again, even if it terrifies you, even if it comes wrapped in controversy. Even if it risks everything, you want to believe. You want to be carried away again. And that's why Zhong Kui matters, not just as a character, but as a symbol, because he represents the choice we face as players. Do we trust again? Do we take the leap into darkness again? Do we follow the myth into uncharted waters, knowing it could drown us or deliver us to glory? And maybe that is the point. Maybe the myth was never about certainty. Maybe it was always about the journey, about stepping into fear and watching what it transforms into. And so here we are, waiting for the next chapter, holding our breath, wondering if this demon slayer will save the legend or haunt it forever.